Hello everyone, Lisa here. Welcome to What's Crafting Wednesday. Hard to believe, but this is the last week in May and it is the 5th live featuring the new In Colors. So tonight is Petunia Pop, but before we get to tonight's card, let's do the drawing from last week. Last week was Summer Splash, and in case you missed it, I made a shaped card. So let me get my names in here, and then we will have our drawing for these two cards. Okay, and I have a ticket here, and it is Carol. Well, congratulations, Carol. I have these shaped Summer Splash cards for you. Okay, so tonight we are featuring Petunia Pop. Lovely, lovely color. It is in the shade of my favorite. And it's a little, shall we call it a little interactive card. I'm using the Trucking Along bundle. That's the stamp set and the punch. And I am also using the new Simply Said photopolymer sentiment set, and that is in the new annual catalog. The long bundle is an online. Here I used basic white, but for tonight we're going to use the thick basic white because I think just over time from moving the truck back and forth, it will probably be better to use the thicker basic white. And a strip of the DSP. It is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4? 1 1/4. And then our layer for the front is Blackberry Bliss, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And we're going to make the cut right now for the little track that the truck will run on. So let's see if I remember actually what measurements I used when I cut it. I know it's a 1/4 inch high, the opening. And I put this at, got a little mark on that side, turn it that way. I put it at 3/4. And let me just double check. See what happens when I make things ahead of time. I don't remember. No, that's cut in at 1 1/4, but I cut in that way at 3/4. Okay. All right. So this here is done at 3/4, and I cut up. I started at 1 1/4 up, and I'm just going to move this so I can see. I should have used the lighter color on the top here. I actually made this in the daylight so it was easier to see when I did it. All right, so I'm going up 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Okay, so move that over. Okay, so what I did was I'm making my cut from I'm starting at 1 1/4 inches up, and I'm only going to cut 1/4. So I'm going to go up 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to turn the paper the other way, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put it there at 3/4, and I'm just going to put this here so I have I can see a little better. Okay, so I'm going from 4 up here, so it's at 1 1/4, and I'm just going to cut it at 1/4. Okay. And now what I will do, I'm going to put this at 1 1/2 because that's how high we went up. And then I'm just going to cut from that cut there up to the next one. So just use this again for my marking so I get it at the right spot. Okay, and I'm just going to slide up to there. And actually when you feel it, because you can feel the blade sink into the cut that's already there. And then I'm going to just move this over 1/4 inch, and I'm going to make the same cut again. And let me just put this there so I can see it. Okay. So that is all for our cutting, and that is actually the most difficult part of making this card, is just to get your little track cut. And from here out, it is smooth sailing. And if you don't get it completely in there, you can just take your snips and cut that out. So now we're going to move along to some stamping fun. We're going to make our truck. And I did the outline of the truck in full strength Petunia Pop, and then on the inside I just stamped off so it was just a lighter shade. So we're just going to ink this up here. And now I'm going to ink up the truck again, where we're going to fill in, but I'm going to stamp off. So I'll stamp off there. And then we're going to fill in here. Just line it up. And then initially, I first did the wheels in Memento Tuxedo Black. I thought it looked a little harsh, so I redid it and I used the Blackberry Bliss for the wheels. I'm just going to move this a little so I can see to line it up. Okay. So we will punch this. Who doesn't like a stamp set that has a coordinating punch? All right. So there is our adorable little truck. And I ended up with one circle, and I'm going to punch out 3 more, because this is what I used behind the truck for the mech, the sliding part. So while I have this in my hand, I'll just punch out a couple more circles. Tear that off and get one more in here. Has anyone ever made this type of card before? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't, I hope you try it after tonight's video. And just one more stamping now. We're going to stamp the gifts right here that go in the bed of the pickup truck. So I did the outline of the gifts in Blackberry Bliss. Just stamp that. And then I filled in with Petunia Pop. And again, I stamped off first. And I also did a little coloring, just so we had a little additional color of the gifts. So very quickly, I just took the pool party Could have done this with Stampin' Right markers also, but the blends weren't easily accessible. Okay. And then a little fussy cutting. Now I'm going to leave some extra down here because I need to attach it behind the pickup truck. So just some quick fussy cutting around this. And I know there's some people out there that really enjoy fussy cutting. Some people actually find it relaxing. Well, let me know if you're one of those. And if you don't know what fussy cutting is, it's just simply stamping something and taking your snips and fussy cutting around it. You do that when you don't have a punch or die to match your image. All right, that's just a little too long there. And then I'm just going to make it a little narrower there. Okay. And I'm going to adhere it to the back here with a little Tombow. And again, not too much because we don't want it to seep out. Doesn't that look cute? And I did take the Wink of Stella and I just used it on the window here. Just so it looks like it's glass rolled up. So I think that is an adorable truck. So what do you think? Think that's cute? Okay, so now we're going to make the mechanism for the truck. In the past, I've done this with, you can use pennies. They're good, it gives you the weight. But you can also use punches like I did here. So I'm going to put one behind there, and then I'm going to use the mini dimensionals and put one on, so I get it centered. Put one on there, and then I'm going to put it behind here. Pull the backing off. You can actually put this on the truck and then slide them through. It's a little awkward, but I'll show you. It can be done. So we're going to put that one on there now. And then we're going to take another dimensional. No, I used the larger one for this. The larger dimensional. And we're going to put it on the truck. Put that right there. And then we're going to make this next one. So you're just layering the dimensionals. And then take another large one and put it there. And this one to the truck also. You just want to eye it, make sure it's even. Okay, now before we put the truck in, we're going to add the DSP here. So I actually didn't ask at the beginning. I'm sorry. For those of you here in the U.S., did you have a nice Memorial Day weekend? Let me know in the comments if you did anything special. Barbecue, went any place. Sunday was a beautiful day. Okay, now before I add the truck, I'm going to use the foam strips here. What are they actually called? Foam adhesive strips, because this is going to get popped up on the front of the card. So let me pull some of these strips out here. Let's see. That one there. Don't want to put it too close because we want to have room for the circles to go around on here. Cut that a little bit. Get another one here and cut it. These do come in handy, these foam strips. You could use dimensionals all around it. In fact, I've made these before where I've used dimensionals on it. So whatever you more convenient for you to use, it all works. It's all good, right? Okay, now I just want to put a little more here. You know me, want to make sure I have enough. Same thing as when I use my dimensionals. Make sure I'm adding enough on here. And almost done. Just cut 2 more strips to put in there. And then we are going to put this cute card together. Put it that way. Okay, probably what will take the longest all around is peeling all of these off. That's always what takes me the longest, peeling all these backings off. Oh, I am curious to read if you've made this type of card before. And if you do make one after tonight, make sure you send me a picture, share what it is that you stamp. So I would love to see your take on this technique. And don't be intimidated by it, because again, once you get your opening, the rest is easy. And the opening really can be different sizes. You can use larger circles, of course. I just chose to use what was on the punch because it fit nicely with the wheels. But if you have a larger image, you could use larger circles, and then you could cut this opening bigger as well. Now, should I put the truck in here before or after? Just going to have to weasel it in a little bit there. So just so you can see what I'm doing, the dimensionals are between this. So I'm just getting these first circles behind here. And again, you could do it, you could put these, assemble this, and then you could put the circles in first and then adhere the truck, or you could do it this way. Either way works. I like doing it this way because I can make sure that that it is even on here, that the truck isn't, you know, well, I guess it could be doing a wheelie, right? Why not? But just to make sure that your image is straight. And I just have to poke this one through. And if you do it this way, you do want to do it before you adhere this layer to the card, because you want to make sure that you can bend this to get your circles in there. So I'm just going to check and make sure I have this in right. Just Bear with me 1 minute while I flex this a little bit. Okay. Now we'll bring this to the front of the card. And I may just stick my head in here a little bit to make sure I get it on straight. And then we have our sentiment to do. So I chose Happy Birthday. Everyone always needs birthday cards. And I did stamp in Blackberry Bliss. I'm just going to start it over here. And now I'll just cut off on this side. Just eye it. Make sure you have about the same size on each end. It's a little off, so I'll just trim this a smidge, just a smidge. Okay. And then I need my Petunia Pop here, and I'm just going to measure this and cut that as well. I just want to have a little mat for it. And this here I adhered with Tombow, but then the entire sentiment I popped up on the card. So this card does have a lot of dimension to it, but it still does fit in an envelope. And you could use the adhesive strips if you wanted. I just use regular dimensionals. So that will be adhered well, don't you think? And I have enough so it will not be sagging in the middle. And I tried to line it up with the cut there. And just a little embellishing. Again, I know I've said it before, but I'm just so happy that we have two different in color embellishments this year. And then the envelope. Oh, the inside. Sorry about that. Forgot the inside of the card. Very simple. Just adhere this little strip of DSP. And again, it is 5 1/4 and it's a 1/2 inch high. And you could always add something, another sentiment on the inside. I just kept it plain, so there's plenty of room for writing. And it looks like I was a little bit off on my cutting here, so I'm just going to snip that off right there. And then we'll add this to the inside of the card. And now we have the envelope. I first was going to stamp the truck on it, but then I decided just to stamp the gifts right there. So just like for the truck, I stamped the outline of the gifts in Blackberry Bliss. And I stamped it all the way down on the envelope. And then I stamped off again for the, I don't know, the filling of the gift, shall we say. And a little coloring again. And like I said, you could do this with, you know, the Stampin' Write markers. You could also do it with the watercolor pencils. I just chose the blends just because it was the most convenient, most accessible. I just turned around and grabbed them. Okay, my crafty friends, look at that. So here is tonight's card. Can't wait to read your comments about what you think about tonight's card. And of course, if you've ever made this before. Let me grab my other envelope here. Okay, everyone. So look at that. Isn't that cute? All right, my crafty friends, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. That was my 5 weeks of 2024 to 2026 in colors. So I have a little sampling of them here. I believe this was the order that I did my Facebook Lives this month. The Shy Shan Pink, Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop. So now that you've seen my series this month, let me know what your favorite in color is. And let me know if it has changed from initially, now that you've seen my in color focus this month, if your favorite has changed at all. I have to say my favorite is Petunia Pop and Summer Splash. They're kind of like equally my favorites, and they look so pretty together, but I do like all 5 of the colors, and I am so happy to have Pretty in Pink back. It's just a great all-around pink. And speaking of in colors, we have just 2 days left for our sign-up special. For $99, you choose $125 of Stampin' Up! Product. And for our bonus this month, you receive an in color package, which includes all 5 of the ink pads, all 5 of the Stampin' Write markers, the In Color DSP, and a package, a multi-pack of the cardstock. So that is an awesome sign-up special. I would love to have you on my Crafting Princesses team. Any questions? Email me, call me, private message me. Just go right in on my page to the join button, and I will be waiting to welcome you as a Crafting Princess. Okay, everyone, thank you again for joining me this evening. When we meet back next Wednesday, it will be June. Don't know yet what we'll be doing next week, but whatever it is, I hope that you enjoy it. And one of these upcoming Wednesdays, we're going to have a craft along again. I know I haven't done that Facebook Live for quite a while, so we will be having an upcoming craft along. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful evening and a very crafty week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.